Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to speak in opposition to the measure.
Thank you, Senator. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, I find it ironic that the senator from Loudoun's amendments were ruled out of order, yet we here in the state Senate are taking up an expired, dead amendment from 40 years ago. Those who want to pass the ERA amendment really should talk to their congressman or congresswoman. That said, Mr. President, I rise to speak in favor of equal rights, yet in opposition to the Equal Rights Amendment, bringing the concerns from thousands of Virginian women to the Senate floor today. As a woman myself, obviously, I support equal rights for women. And I might add, I appreciate those of you who've gone before me and paved the way. Many are convinced that if Virginia passes this Equal Rights Amendment, women will no longer be victimized. Yet the bill itself actually victimizes the very women it claims to protect. It assumes that women will blindly trust and will not read the fine print. Well, I've read the fine print, and I'm offended, and I'm not buying it. In reading the article itself, the word woman or female is not even mentioned. Instead, the term sex is used. Yet we are led to believe that this amendment is for women. Dear sweet women, please realize this amendment is not about you. Instead of being treated equally to men, you would be treated identically to men, and I really hope you're listening. The ERA promotes an equality of sameness, which erases the differences between men and women. Now let's stop and think about that for a minute. If the law no longer allows public colleges, businesses, places of employment to differentiate between male and female, here's what you can expect. Need to take a shower after a workout at the gym? Don't expect to clean up in a safe, protected environment because now it's illegal. If you're already concerned about sending your teenage daughter away to college, now imagine that she's sharing a bedroom with another teenage boy, because the law would no longer allow the college to differentiate between men and women. Why? Because it's now illegal. Women of domestic violence and abuse will be the real casualties of this amendment. Already fearing for their lives, they will now have an additional fear of not being able to safely use a protected women's-only dressing room or bathroom. Why will there be no safe spaces for women and young girls? Because it would be illegal. Women's scholarships, women's colleges, women's sports, women's locker rooms, and bathrooms will all be a tradition of the past, exposing women to increased incidences of rape and sexual violence. I'm proud to be a woman, and I appreciate the differences between men and women. And while I desire equal respect, that respect does not come through identical treatment in the passage of a well-intended yet misguided ERA. It's no wonder that some of the states who passed the ERA have now rescinded it. What at first glance looks like equality for women turns out to be the big bad wolf dressed up in grandma's nightgown. Women, are you going to fall for this? Are you going to be deceived into believing this failed amendment from the late 70s is still relevant or even helpful for women today? The truth is that women have already come a long way, and without the ERA, just look at the number of women in the General Assembly today as compared to 40 years ago in 1979. When our first female state senator, Eva Mae Scott, who used to hold my seat that I'm in now, was first elected to the Virginia General Assembly representing Amelia and surrounding counties. I'd also like to note that I'm the second female state senator serving Chesterfield, Colonial Heights, and Amelia, and Senator Scott and I did that all without the help of the ERA. Women are now attorneys, doctors, business owners, astronauts, Secretary of State, and senators. We can be anything we want to be and more. In fact, one of the leaders of the ERA movement, who I have so much respect for and I've really enjoyed spending time talking with her, is Eileen Davis. And just this November had her daughter, Abigail Spanberger, win the 7th congressional seat for Congress. Case in point, Abigail did not need the ERA. Currently, women can voluntarily apply and attend institutions like VMI, West Point, or the Naval Academy. Women are capable of facing combat, but the question remains this: should all women be held to this level of physical and mental training? Under the ERA, women would be automatically drafted into the armed services. Women can flourish in the military and have always held vital roles in rank. But mandating all women to be drafted changes everything. The truth is that women have come a long way over the past 40 years. We already have protections in our Virginia Constitution. The Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, the Equal Pay for Equal Work Law, the Pregnancy Discrimination Act, and the list goes on. Passing the ERA would actually take women back 40 years, eliminating thousands of federal, state, and local protections for women regarding marriage, divorce, family property law, adoptions, abortions, schools, and sports, ultimately transferring power and authority from the people to the federal government. Virginia is being asked to make history by becoming the 38th and the final state to ratify the ERA. But as Amy McNerney from Prince William County so appropriately said at the recent press conference, the ERA is DOA and has been since 1982. On October the 4th, 1982, in a Supreme Court case,